Hey, it's me, Lizzie. This video is not an inspiration. It wasn't a choice, but it is my story. I have always loved having hair. When I was younger, my nicknames were Pocahontas and Tiger Lily at school sometimes. I've had many different styles and done many different things with it. And hey, it's even my chosen profession and career as a cosmetologist. But in 2018, life hit really hard and I was diagnosed with acute stress disorder. My hair rapidly began falling out of my head. What I thought was just thinning of hair actually became my body showing me I was in distress. I really was. Panic, worry, shortness of breath, nausea, angry outbursts were all my portion in that season. So I rented a hotel room and I chopped off all of my hair. I hated the way that I looked. I couldn't believe that my most prized possession was gone. That was until we turned me blonde and I'd started to enjoy myself. Over the last couple of years, my hair started growing back. It was amazing. And yes, although I wore wigs and extensions from time to time, it's nothing like having your own hair. I love curling it. But as you can see in this part of the video, this is all I had left. How did my beautiful blonde hair that I just toned pink turn into this? Stress. So I did well for the most of the pandemic, as we know that we're all in. I was able to manage and de-stress myself even in the most difficult of situations. But in the last couple weeks, the overwhelming grips of despair started to hit me like waves, crashing, crashing, crashing. I'm turning 35 next year. Wow, I still don't have a relationship. Wow, the world could be ending, and no one would have found me worthy. Wow. My hair started to fall out, little by little. My businesses aren't hitting the way I think they should. What is happening? Why are people not paying my invoices? Why has life become so dull? I can't even go on a mini trip. Why have I been in the house most of the year? Were a lot of the thoughts that I just couldn't escape, coupled with the overwhelming amount of dreams of what I feel like is happening in our world. My mind just wouldn't turn off at night. I was having all of the feels. And feeling for me is something a little bit new over the last couple years because I used to numb it and bury it. And so if there was a positive takeaway, at least I knew what I was feeling. I tried rapidly to stop, de-escalate myself. But when the last disappointment came, and what felt like a major rejection, my hair was falling out by the handfuls. I would roll over and no hair would stay on my head. It would be on my pillow. So I cried. I fought. I kicked. I was upset. My team didn't even want me to cut what was wrong, but there was nothing really there anymore, right? As you can see in this video, it's strands and pieces that are dead things. And what do we do with dead things? We let them go. Because if there are no ashes, there can't be any beauty. All I can tell you is that I didn't want to be an inspiration. And some of the people I talked to really pissed me off. What do you mean, be a motivation about this? What do you mean, I'll be beautiful no matter what? For me, my hair represents a femininity that I love to express. And I have to admit that at some point in the day, I thought, what is the point anymore? But as we all know around here, I choose to recover. And I try to recover quickly because I refuse to let the enemy, Satan, come in and win anything. So I had a conversation with my pastors, I talked to my parents, and a few of the people from my team. And what I understood in that moment was that it was okay for me to be sad about it. but I couldn't let it stop me. I refused to be bound by fear, rejection, and all of the friends that come with despair. Ironically, as I started to use my number 2 blade on my BCRGs, because your girl can fade up some really dope cuts. I started to think of every promise, every prophetic word, and everything that God has spoken over my life. And I started to feel a little more free, a little more empowered. Like I said, this wasn't for inspiration, and it's not motivational. It's just my story. So I started to think, well, there's one thing I'm sure of, that God is not a man that he would lie. So if he promised me a family, I'll have a family. And if he promised me a thriving business, I'll have a thriving business. And if he promised me long life, I'll have a long life. Every single word that he's ever spoken over me cannot return to me void. And so I let go of these dead ends, broken, fractured cortex of my cuticles. And this is all the hair that came off of my head. Not much. But look who she is. I don't know how long I'll let this be. And please believe there will be many a wig around here. But this princess, who loved to preach, will be proud that she didn't quit.